You are home. Take a moment. This is your space to breathe, to reflect, to be heard. Here, we explore the things that matter to you, the challenges you face, the choices you wrestle with, and the victories you celebrate in silence. No judgment, no pretense, just real women sharing real moments and growing together. Make yourself at home. The moment is yours.
When we say we are women, we mean that we are brave, we are strong, we are capable, we are unique, we are woman to woman.
And today we're going to bring a little bit of the dynamism.
I think one of the negative influences that I've noticed are the trends.
I think also another thing has to do with like how the changes in school have been made recently. There has been a lot of changes.
Who agrees with this statement? The youth have had to deal with the mistakes of the older generation, so things are not so great for us.
Ooh, that's interesting. Good afternoon, South Africa. Good afternoon, Africa. Here we are with our program number 2 of recapping the very good moments, but more than that. What is our expectation? Today I have Italy with us. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Marcia. Good afternoon to everyone who is watching. It's always a pleasure to be in Woman to Woman.
Just for you to understand, if we have Italy here, it's because we're going to talk something about youth. And the question is, 2025 in the bag? Not yet, or maybe yes. We have dedicated 2025 as the year of the youth. And last week we had the teens with us. They entertained us a lot. It was so entertaining. My husband even asked it if they know they are not adults yet. And of course today we have the youth with us. Good afternoon to you, PJ.
Good afternoon, Miss Marcia. Hello, Tali. Tali's usually right next to me, but today my wing woman is not next to me, but she's with us in the house. But I'm not riding solo. I am here with the VYG fam. Although y'all are wondering what's going on, you know, the fit is not fitting as usual, but the fam is here, and this is how we're going to wrap up our 2025.
So, as they say, it's the final takeover. Can you see behind PJ? That's a declaration. They will start to take over from now.
That's right, Miss Marcia. It is our final takeover, but we're going to take over with that final zhuzh, that final stretch. And with the fam who is here with us, I've got a simple question for each and every one of them. As they walk in, they're going to answer it. What is it from 2025 you would like to leave behind?
Hi everyone, my name is Ntando. I am a research coordinator, and what I would like to leave behind in 2025 is overthinking.
Hi everyone, my name is Francis. I'm a school administrator. What I would like to leave in 2025 is diverting from the initial plan when things go south.
Hi everyone, my name is Chantal and I am currently studying higher certificates in accounting. What I would like to leave behind is not prioritizing even the littlest of things.
Hi everyone, my name is Bonga and I'm currently in matric. And one thing I'd love to leave behind is being too laid back and not confident enough.
Hi everyone, my name is Letla Honolo and I am Merchant Specialist Team Leader. What I would like to leave behind is definitely procrastination.
Hi everyone, my name is Tsepo and I'm an audio engineer specializing in audio synthesis. What I would like to leave behind is jumping into conclusion.
So guys, welcome to Woman to Woman. And can I hold you accountable to what you wanted to leave behind?
For sure.
We may be back here 2026 and asking you, did you actually fulfill your promise? So since we have the youth fam here, of course we cannot just have a boring conversation with them. We have prepared a dynamic so that they will have to answer to certain questions that PJ has got, and they will have to say yes, no, maybe. What they don't know, Tali, is that, of course, we are going to ask them to elaborate some of those questions.
And of course, the questions are never easy.
Nah. That's us, of course. Are you ready, guys? Yes.
As y'all heard Miss Marcia say, there is no boredom when the VYG fam is here. And today we're going to bring a little bit of the dynamism. Those of you who are with us in the VYG will remember throughout this year we had the mega hangout. And similar to that, well, there'll be no points and no teams here, but there will be a little bit of, change of different opinions. So as you're going to see with our participants today, we have 3 colors. Green represents agree or yes. Red represents don't agree or no. And orange is mixed feelings, kind of like, I don't really have an answer for that. So guys, are you all ready for your first question? 100%? Okay, let me throw you all in, well, under the bus as they call it. Well, this is more like a train. Who of you feel that 2025 was the hardest year yet for you and other youth in South Africa? Let's see what's going to happen here.
Interesting. 3, 1, 2. So those who said yes, of course, they have to enlighten us. Who volunteers?
Okay, so why the yes is because in 2025, a lot has happened through social media, mostly seeing it in the view of social media because the youth mostly deal with social media, as we know. So because of that, they now pressured to look a type of way, to be a certain way, and now to also want to be included in that, but also dealing with like the whole school situation and many other, but mostly social media. I think that's the greatest one that's been,
I think also another thing has to do with like how the changes in school have been made recently. There has been a lot of changes and it has been affecting a lot of youth as well, even mentally. And some youth may even not be able to continue with their schooling because of all these changes as well. So it has been a very hard year for the youth this year.
Give me one change that somehow affected you.
For me, one change that affected me would have been matric. Entering matric. Matric is a very hard year. So learning to always, find discipline and balance and everything, that was one big change for me. That was very different because when I was in grade 11, grade 10, it was very simple. It wasn't all, it's supposed to be a certain way. So now when there's all these mandatory things that you need to do that you're not used to, you now need to listen to the instructions, make sure that you're going according to the instructions. Otherwise, there'll be big problems. So that has been a big change for me.
Apparently, the girls who are studying agree and all the guys disagree.
What happened this side, guys?
The year was not that hard for guys.
Or would you say that previous years were tougher for you?
On my side, I would say 2025 wasn't like hard in general because on my side, the information now is easily accessible. So it depends on you how you handle the information. So in general, I wouldn't say it was hard, but because everything was out there, it's just you personally on how you take things. That's my view on this year 2025.
You see, Tali, they are the students and he is the administrator. That's why.
Exactly, that's
why. Of course.
He sets the rules, so he knows.
So it's okay.
Him, it's fine.
It goes smoothly. You have another question, PJ?
I've got another question. Y'all are getting a bit too comfortable, so, we've got to, move things up here. Who agrees with this statement? The youth have had to deal with the mistakes of the older generation, so things are not so great for us.
Ooh, that's interesting. Do we need to repeat the question?
I'd gladly repeat that question. who agrees with the statement, the youth have had to deal with the mistakes of the older generations, so things are not great for us.
5, 4. This is fun. So we have 4 against 1 and against 1, and of course, Tsepo. You got the prize to explain, elaborate.
Generally speaking, I would think that, looking at the entire scope of life, this current generation is suffering because of the mistakes that the past generations did. Because now, as you can see, for example, we had elders who were struggling before in apartheid, for example, just as an example. And because they struggled, then they said, I want to make things easy for my kids. Or they grew up, they were being punished corporally, or they were being disciplined physically. So they said, with me, I'm not going to sort of impose that. Not that that is right, but because they sort of softened on the side of discipline, we have this generation that is too soft today.
Do you guys agree? So who would like to debate or to challenge the answer?
I'm not going to challenge him per se, but I will say that the opportunities that the current youth have are more as based on the ones that the previous generation had. And I think if the previous generation had the opportunities that the current youth or us as the youth of today have, then they would have been able to do more or to go further. So in that point, that's where I disagree.
And now I have mixed feelings. That's my color. Because I do agree with both of them. Different angles, different perspectives, but I do agree with both of them at the end of the day, isn't it?
So I think the one who said he has mixed feelings can explain to us as well why you agree or you have mixed feelings.
Yeah, personally, I have mixed feelings because I have seen maybe some youth who grow up like with getting everything at home, but they destroy their future. And then some, they have little resources from home, but they make the most of the little that they have. So that's why I have mixed feelings, because some have everything, but they destroy their future. Some have nothing, but their future is brighter.
And that's something that is the truth. And when we see matric results, it's interesting because there is always someone in the country who did the poorest conditions but did exceedingly well. And others who had more privileged conditions, they did not achieve as much.
Exactly, Dona Márcia.
So that proves that also, it all depends on how you face challenges. Either you allow it to build or to break.
To destroy you. And we are going to speak more about it at the end, but I think the VYG family can help with that. So stay tuned.
Now, one more question, because I'm curious here.
Yes, we do have quite a few questions, but just on that point, Ms. Marcia, I think I would also be where Francis is. I think I would have gone to either green or red, but after what Francis said, I would have jumped to the middle with him, be like, yeah, no, true, Francis, I'm with you. And if possible, Ms. Marcia, I'd love to see what our fam who's watching, what their opinions as well in the comment section, if they can share with us, those who are watching online, if they can share with us, I'd love to see their thoughts on these questions as well. But moving on to the next one, did you get to a point of giving up on your New Year's resolution this year, and why? Did you get to a point of giving up on your New Year's resolutions this year, and why?
Think about 2024, your New Year's resolution.
It's almost here or there.
I like the confusion.
Right at the center is almost. Okay.
Gosh, 2. That's equal. So just to make it simple, who stood firm by your New Year's resolution? We're talking about 2024. Who of you? You.
That's nice.
Who had to push hard because you were about to give up?
Okay. Makes sense.
And who didn't make it? You just gave up. I'm not going to ask them to elaborate because, of course, we're going to commit them to do the New Year's resolution for 2026. So let us live like that for now.
For now. Ntandas is still moving slowly.
Tanda's going to end up in the red side.
Do you want us to give you a last chance for you to position yourselves?
No.
Next
Yes.
one.
So you ended up being on your own here. Sorry, Francis. Question number 4. Would January, or let me rephrase this one. Would the January of 2025 version of you be proud of the December 2025 version of you?
Ooh, it has
So
all to
who you
do
were?
with the other question.
Wow.
Who you were.
Wow!
I like that.
Deserves a round of applause,
I
though
like
we are
that.
not allowed to clap hands.
Any questions, Ms. Marcia? Or are we leaving it as is?
DJ, pick one.
Pick one.
Yes.
Who have we not heard? Lehlohonolo, we haven't heard you speak much.
Sure. Definitely December 2025 would be proud because I think this year it has been a very hectic year for me personally because I have to juggle between school, work, being a mom, a wife. But out of all those things, I think even my husband said, I'm proud of you because you were able to do your assignments like way before the due date. So I'm proud of myself. And definitely in December, I'll be clapping hands because I'm on my final year.
Oh, we are also proud of you,
Yes, we are all proud of you.
because there are people who say, no, that the program is just for the youth. At least they know that we have married guys here, we have wife, husband, and mother coping with everything else and still working in the projects of the youth. So we are proud of you, isn't that?
Yes.
And it's so good, Ms. Marcia, to see that means all of them grew. All of them grew in a way, in a sense, although we believe there were many challenges. So congratulations to everyone.
Congratulations, indeed. And
But the questions are not yet over.
No, we're just warming up. We are just warming up. Question number 5. Do you think the youth's voice was heard more this year or less? The voice of the youth, do you think it was heard more this year or was it heard less? They're still contemplating here. They're still thinking about it. The movement is slow.
I like this.
If you agree that the youth's voice were heard more, then you go green. If you say less, then you go red, or in between.
Or you don't know.
Is it me or am I starting to see a pattern here, Miss Marcia? I don't know. I feel like there's a pattern. Everyone goes one side, and then Francis is like, I'm not joining you guys.
But I have a question for each one of them within the answer. Now you cannot change panels or sides, okay? You guys said that you don't believe that the voice of the youth was heard more this year than the previous years. Personally, for the 4 of you, what would you like people out there to hear?
I would like for specifically parents to spend more time with their children because there is a trend that I have noticed that communication between parents and their children is decreasing. And that is why I said that they are being heard less, because I've spoken to some of the youth that will tell me that I have to speak to you because there's no one else that I can speak to. And at that point in time, this person has 3, 4 siblings and both parents are at home. But they'll tell you that the moment I want to speak to my mom or to my dad, instead of listening to me, they will either shout or they will judge or they will compare me to my friend or to someone else's child.
Exactly what we had last week with the teens. They literally said exactly like that. So there is a pattern. The teens and now the youth going through the same. Tsepo.
Miss Masha, I don't think anyone likes to listen to the youth. Particularly when you look at the government, when you look at the parents want to be on their phones. The government is not listening in terms of, we still have large amounts of money that the youth have to pay for them to go to school. We still have a very large percentage of the youth who are unemployed. Comparing the youth of 2025 with the youth, for example, of 1976. In 1976, we even have a holiday for that, because it means the youth was heard. But now, when you look recently, the youth, they protest, they do this and that. The youth are depressed, but no one seems to care. They just want them to perform. They're looking at performance. They're not looking at them as people. They're not listening to what they have to say. They're just looking at how they are performing.
Just like a number.
Yes.
Or stats. Darling.
I think also adding on to both of them what they have said as well, with parents, sometimes parents may like give their dreams to their children as well, where they'll be like, oh, I wanted to be a doctor, but I couldn't. So you should go on to university and become a doctor. But maybe the youth is just like, I don't want to be that. I want to be something else. As well as with going to school as well, there has now also been developed this thing of where youth are like, okay, next year after matric, I probably won't go to university. I'm going to take a gap year and I'll go the next year, because of how the situation in South Africa is. So youth are not being listened to. They have said before, the youth have said, okay, can you please maybe build a new university or do something like that? But then we're not being listened to the point that now we have a mindset that, okay, I'll probably have a gap year next year. It's possible, or I might need to go to college. I won't get into university because of our situation and they're not listening to us. Or maybe because I can't afford the fees and they don't want to offer for me to pay for my fees as well. So that's a lot of situations that we know that the society knows that, okay, the youth are facing this, but there's no changes that are made to it as well. So yeah.
Who of you took a gap year? You did. Did you?
I did.
Oh, I didn't have time for that. Did you, PJ?
I'm learning that right now, Miss Marcia. No gap year. I would never have gone for that. No, not my thing.
You know why I find a challenge in South Africa? Because, for instance, I worked 8 hours a day, left my workplace, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, left my workplace, straight to varsity, got home at midnight, 1 in the morning, 5, wake up and do it for 4.5 years, right? So even though working already in the field I was studying for and working since I was 13, it was hard to push my career through. I think about in South Africa, with the structure that we have, you take a gap year, then you start studying for what you want when you are at the age of 19 to 20. Here you have to fully commit to your studies. You can't hold a job and you can't study at the same time. So when you start building a career, you're going to be already 25. How hard that is. Guys, you work, you have a career. She's writing matric, you study in college, but the others you have already graduated. How hard was it for you to secure a position in the field you studied for?
For me, I would say it was very hard, because when I entered varsity and started studying for what I was studying, there were still a lot of opportunities. But by the time I graduated...
Only 4 years, 5 years later.
Yes. Then by the time I graduated, I had to get a job doing something else. So even now with the job that I'm doing, it's not what I studied for. And that's just to show that, yes, it does get harder, because as the years go by, the industries change. And sometimes you are maybe not equipped enough for that change. And hence it does become a bit challenging by the time you graduate.
That's hard. Did you take a gap year because you wanted or because it was the circumstance?
It was the circumstances. We were moving back and forth.
That's a different story. Né? Did you get a gap year because you chose circumstances. So clearly, if it was up to you, would you have done that?
Not at all. Not at all. I would have gone straight. Like from the beginning of matric, I would have already said what I was going to do.
Yeah.
No one wants to waste time.
Don't you think that somehow the structure, the government, not blaming the government, but we have been overlooking the needs of the youth, and there is a sense out there, no, they want to take this gap year, they want to travel the world, but that's not a reality. Somehow it's forced to. PJ, last question. I know you have another 5, but pick one because we're going to go to the second part.
Okay. Those last 3 are really good. But I'm going to ask this one because I know this one is going to be quite, it's going to have, I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen here. I want to see something. Who agrees with this statement? Social media made 2025 better. Oh.
That was a surprise.
Yes, it was.
One thing we have to acknowledge, there is diversity.
Yes, without a doubt.
Diversity of opinions and experiences.
Even the couple don't agree.
Yeah. We have freedom of expression here. Well done. Since you two agreed with the statement, would you care to elaborate? Because I think 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, we are willing to hear.
I agree with Marcia because one thing is reality is 2025 and social media, everything is online now. You can literally do your business online. I know that for a fact because you can literally go to social media and advertise your business, get clients, do everything online. You can get jobs as well as quick as like that. And you can even there's social media jobs as well where you can do your PR or your marketing and so forth. So I think 2025, it has made it better because now you get youth that are working from home only by just using their social media. And yeah, I think it did make things better.
Someone from the red corner to answer. That's going to be marriage problem here.
I think it's actually worse because we have more negative things than positive. It's a sort of concoction of, the bad stuff. And just for you to realize, I can go on Facebook just trying to see something positive. Of the 9 things that I see, of the 10 things that I see, 9 are negative, and only 1 is good. Maybe they are posting something positive, but the rest is bad news. It's this happened, that happened, this one was short, blah blah blah. So, and also, I once found myself as of late last year, just for us to connect the dots, I once found myself inside a boot of a car because of social media. Because we were running a business online on Facebook Marketplace. Then someone called us to say we want to order. When we arrived there, gunmen came and with guns.
gosh.
So for me, I think, and I've had many more stories about that, more in 2025. So to be honest, yes, there's a little positive about social media, but most of it's just worse. It's worse.
Thank you. Someone who would speak about the influence on the youth through social media.
Yes, that's what I wanted to actually speak on. I wanted to speak about trends. I think one of the negative influences that I've noticed are the trends. It's very rare for you to see a positive trend on social media. Most of the trends that we see on social media are negative. We speak of how people wear clothes. We speak of the values that people have, to a point where now, if you do not have money, you don't have value. If you are not portraying a certain, I'd say, machismo for guys. If you are a guy talking about faithful to one woman, they will eat you up. But if you are a guy talking about how to cheat and how to do all these other things, you will be praised. You'll even get a high following. So it goes back to what Tsepo was saying. The influence, most of it is negative because you can look for one thing, even if it's a good thing, you'll end up being influenced or being shown things that are negative, even if that's not what you are in the social media for.
PJ, what is your take in social media? Now the question comes on to you.
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble on this one because a lot of our work is on social media. We are always getting DMs, a lot of youth reaching out to the work which we do through the DMs. But without a doubt, I would stand in the middle right now in this situation because it kind of goes up to each individual, how they use it and their own ability to manage, and having that balance and the equilibrium of, I think I've been a bit too much, and understanding how profitable that is for themselves. Something that Ntando says, for example, there's a trend that's going online, and I'm going to look at that and say, what influence does that have in my life? What impact is that going to bring? And a lot of young people, unfortunately, are not prepared to understand what to filter, what to keep and what to throw away. We're having this program on television, but we're also having it online. So we have it going on. So there are people who are going to take this program, or others who are just going to scroll through and say, this isn't. So how many are not mature enough or prepared to be able to filter what's profitable for them and what's not? So in this case, Miss Marcia, I think I would be wearing the same color as your jersey. I'd be the orange squad right now.
I think I do agree, PJ, because really, and I'm going to throw a question to Tali, of course. Tali, what was the worst trend that you saw in social media 2025?
Wow. You, Mrs. Marcia, would have to really recap. Let me say, the worst.
At least the worst for you. It might not be yours, but for her it was scary like.
I think not one trend per se, but what trends most of them do, comparison. I think the trend of you comparing yourself, and there are different bubbles in social media. So right now you are in this bubble of that girl who is always in gym. So you need to be and we see girls doing crazy stuff just to try to have the same body as that one. And there is the other bubble of makeup, and some girls, they don't even have money for that expensive makeup from Korea, makeup from Japan. And they do things that they are not themselves. They put themselves in a situation where they feel uncomfortable just to be in line with that trend. So I would say that summary of all the trends, because they all cause comparison in the point that people do things they don't feel comfortable with themselves doing.
Balance. PJ said about balance. That's what we all need to have. Don't think only about the youth. As a grown-up person, I have to have this balance as well. But enough with 2025. Let us put it in the bag, because now we are going to explore their feelings and their hopes for 2026.
What would you say was your toughest or worst moment in 2025?
Well, the worst moment of 2025 was, me losing a parent.
In June, like from Feb, my granny got really ill. So it was super bad. Hospital in, hospital out, and they told her, and they told us that there's nothing they can do at the hospital. So in June, she got one very ill, like it was worse. And the 11th of June, I'll never forget, in the morning, I got back for work and she calls me and I went to her and she's like, please don't leave me. So at that point in time, I'm like, why is so if to go to work? I'm working. And she held my clothes back, but I just reached her and away and I came. And when I came back from work, there were like so much people and they just seemed to pass away. So it was the best feeling.
To be honest, I wouldn't say that I've had the toughest or worst moment. However, I have had challenging times in this year, throughout this year. With regards to my work, I have faced immense pressure at work to meet my targets, to meet my KPIs. I've also had, a challenging time being away from my family because my family lives in another city. That has also been challenging because I've only seen them, I think, 2 or 3 times this year. So those can take a toll on a person because obviously you want to do well at work and you want to see your family. And sometimes when you feel like you can't do those things, it can, weigh heavily on you.
What was the best, most beautiful moment of 2025 so far?
Most beautiful moment is when I was offered a position somewhere in Cape Town. So I probably will be moving there next year, but yeah, everything's going well after all.
I was awarded the opportunity to relocate to another city. So I'm recently new in the city that I am in, and I'm absolutely loving every single moment of it. So it has been my absolute highlight for 2025.
If 2026 could surprise you in a good way, what would it be?
I would hope that I get the news from the physiotherapist that my aunt can walk again. That would make me very happy.
I just wish that someone could really just buy me a passport because it was my biggest dream to actually leave the country 2026. I need a driver's license, so I just wish that finance-wise 2026 it becomes basic, which I know.
More money, more blessings, a little bit of fun. Yeah, less pain, but a little bit of more fun. Yeah, I think that should be it for me. Yeah.
We are not going to put 2025 in the bag as yet.
Not yet?
Before we learn from the lessons from 2025. From good or for bad, I know everyone had a lesson and we want to hear from you because everyone said your January version would be proud of yourself. So why? What are the lessons you are taking from 2025?
Anyway, each one of you will have to speak. So just volunteer, it's easy.
Okay. I think when we did start the program, we did say what we want to leave behind in 2025. And for me, that was like making the little list of details important, prioritizing them. And so there was something that happened in school. I needed to submit an assignment and I took long to do that. And it froze me out of the system. And now I needed to start it all over again. So that taught me, you can't. And the due date was about to it was a week left and I was panicking because there's a lot that needed to happen. You needed to put a whole company in place and all that, and it takes time. And so it froze me out and I started panicking. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? But I got it right. And at the last minute, yes, at least I didn't, I don't have to retake that module, but I got it right at the last minute. So that's why I'm like, I can't leave something so small for the last minute to do it for the last minute. Rather do it before or fix changes that need to be fixed. Submit it if you have to in a way, but also taking it to life as well. Even the littlest of things like, checking time to see, okay, if I said I'm going to meet someone at this time, it's already this time. Will I arrive or should I communicate? Lessons like that really help.
Great.
Yeah, on my side, I had made goals beginning of the year. By the end of year 2025, I want to grow my career in administration. So in a way, along the way, you find maybe a job in admin, but that's not paying well. But I wanted the experience. And along the way, I'll be like, let me leave this and find something that's paying more. But I think in my mind that I need to have a career. I need to have the experience in this path. So I learned to adjust, to say sometimes I have to focus on the goal that I had at the beginning of the year, even though it's hard, even though it's not making sense, but I just have to keep going forward, even though it didn't make sense. So now I can say, if I look back, I can say this year I made strides towards my career path.
For 2025, the lesson that I learned that is it's never too late to start. It's definitely never late to start, because I remember when I started with my college, I was just 20, I think I was 25, 26. And it's only my first degree. I finished my matric, passed really well. And unfortunately, due to circumstances, I had to pause. But fortunately enough, I got a learnership. Then, where I'm working right now, they offered me a bursary. I was like, yes, I might be this age. I'm definitely going to be in the same class with your 2Ks. But I'm definitely doing it. And to tell you the truth, in 2025, I'm thinking myself, because I'm literally left with just few modules to complete. And I'm thinking to myself, if I never start, I will never reach that goal. So whether I do it or I don't, at the end of the day, I will still grow older. And then it's either I grow older with something that I have in my hand, with a goal achieved, or with just complaining that I should have. But one thing is, it's never late to start.
Great. Where there is a will, there is a way.
Definitely.
Simple.
For me, the most notable one is change is not that bad. Normally, we fear change. Just for example, me and my family, we moved here in Joburg from Pretoria in January. So for me, we were thinking about it for a while, and I was like, no, because
Joburg is rough.
Joburg is like this and that. You would hear stories and whatnot, and Joburg is hectic, blah blah blah. Because Pretoria is much calmer than Joburg. They both have their advantages and disadvantages, but mainly with me personally, it was like I was comfortable there in Pretoria to say, okay, if I know where this is, I know where that is. If I want something, I know where to get it. So in Joburg, I'll be starting from scratch. I don't even know anyone at the side of Joburg, but I learned that it actually made me a better man. It made me a better husband, made me a better father, because now I was out of my comfort zone. I was like, now I get to explore a whole new world, a whole new area, and I can say that it made me better. So it's the best thing that I've done for myself. But first, I had doubts.
So you came to the conclusion that change is good.
It's very good. Now I'm looking forward to more change.
Where to? Thank you. Who else?
With me, I would say my greatest lesson this year would be to invest in myself. I've noted that sometimes we are too quick to invest on others, but when it comes to ourselves, we lack that confidence, because just because so-and-so could not do a certain thing, then you think that even if I try to do that thing, I won't be able to make it. So for me, I would say I learned to invest in myself. That's something I'm currently busy with. And yeah, just invest in yourself. Value yourself, even if others don't value you, and work on yourself. You don't need to wait for people to give you that validation for you to start something. So value yourself and invest in yourself.
Indeed. Now the last one.
So for me, what I learned mostly was discipline, right? So discipline for me was a very huge challenge at the start, but then I actually conquered it and became more disciplined, especially because of the year I'm in as well. It's very hard. I needed to be balanced and learn discipline. And another thing I also learned was that I shouldn't take failure as like, oh, I failed, I should give up, kind of thing. I learned to actually learn from my mistakes, learn from my failure, and move on from it and see where I can improve. Because I remember there is a subject I had failed at school, and I felt like giving up. I felt like saying, you know what, it's fine. It's fine. There's no point. But then I actually went back. I learned from where did I go wrong, and from that I actually improved. So that's why also like January me would be very proud, because I would never expected to improve in that subject, because that subject.
Would you like to review? Which subject was that?
Physical science.
Oh, we agree. We do agree it's hard.
Yeah. So I actually learned, and also investing in myself as well, improving my talents, my all of these different things, except for just school, and not focusing on school every time as well. I also became more involved in VYG as well, became more involved, and that's where I learned to actually be like, okay, there are some things that I didn't know I can do, but I actually can. So it's just that mindset, to have that mindset that anything I put my mind to, I can do it and I can succeed.
Now you understood why they all went to the green color to say they would be proud. They are proud about themselves, isn't that?
The challenges made them to be stronger today, to be more comfortable today, more confident. And that's why they are proud of themselves. And we are proud of you as well.
Yeah. Now, PJ, what is the lesson or the lessons that you're going to take from 2025, which you have shared with the youth?
Okay, throughout this year, we shared many lessons, countless lessons, but I will mention one: the dangers of stagnancy. The world is moving, and at a pace that is unfathomable, a crazy pace right now, but there are people who are still stagnant. Stagnant in learning, or stagnant because they failed and they're stuck in their failures. When we watch or we heard any one of their stories, and anybody's story, there's always that failure. There's always going to be failure. The worst situation for a person to be in, I believe, is when they're stagnant, when they make that failure to be a part of who they are instead of taking that failure and building on top of it. There's a very famous quote which says, when life throws you with stones, use it to build your house, use it to build your castle. And a lot of people, when they are thrown with those stones of challenges, whether it's a family issue, a financial issue, whether it's failing at school, whether it's the loss of a loved person, life will throw us. And by the way, we all make the resolutions in the beginning of the year, but we don't know what's going to happen that year. I will not forget, and I think none of us can forget, and Woman to Woman is a perfect example of it, COVID. Who would have thought, when I heard this thing that lockdown would exist? I'm sure lots of people made many plans, but COVID decided to go another way. Well, I'm proud to be part of being part of the Woman to Woman fam from the beginning, where this was not existent. So which way would we be able to? We wouldn't be here. Honestly, we wouldn't even be here. My point is stagnancy for some. Some people crashed. Some companies failed. Some people, they gave up on life. There was no way. They just died out. They faded away because of COVID. That was a year. It's gone. It's past. Other issues, COVID is past. We might not remember it vividly right now, every day, because it's past, but there are many people who are stuck. Tomorrow is going to bring us a new challenge. 2026 will be different. There will be something in 2026 which we're definitely not expecting. Now, the question is, this time next year, will you or will we be able to look back and say, I've improved from it? Or are we going to look back and be like, I'm stagnant, I'm exactly where I was, or worse, I've rewinded, I've reversed in my life? So I believe that's the greatest lesson. Are you stagnant, or have you moved? Have you improved? If it's one step closer, because the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step. Have you at least taken one step, or are you still in the same place you were this time last year?
And that's the point of Woman to Woman. We're looking now towards the future. Can we put 2025 in the bag for now?
Now we can.
Now we can. All right. So, of course, not being stagnant and looking to the future. Before they go, I want to hear from you. One hope or one resolution, one expectation for 2026. By the way, this is our Key December boss. That's how we enjoy ourselves, okay? Looking back, being satisfied or dissatisfied, planning for the future. Each one of you.
Okay, I think I'll go first on this one. There is a product that I'm currently developing. We're still in the testing stages, so I would like to see that product in the market next year.
Woo, that's good.
On my side, 2025 taught me to plan, like to divide my plans, like micro, building up for the macro to the big one. So I'm hoping to see like the bigger picture materializing next year. Yes.
For me, my resolution is to finally start my business next year. I will start it this year, but for it to actually launch fully next year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, for me, I started a course recently, cybersecurity. I want to see myself finishing the course next
I think
year.
we all need that.
Yeah. Yeah, because before I had started the computer science one, so now I'm going to cybersecurity, and I want to be done with it. And hopefully next year I want to start my own business, and I want to see it materialize.
I think for my side, it's graduating next year, hopefully, knowing that I will.
Not hopefully?
Knowing that I will.
Make it a commitment.
Making it a commitment.
You are on camera now?
Yes, making it a commitment and knowing that I will, and actually learning how to be more independent, because as we were talking within this whole, there was a point that was mentioned on parents and knowing how the parents would behave a certain way, and just learning how to be independent as a youth, and knowing that, okay, I got this covered, I got this handled, and starting life. Yeah.
You know that independence comes with accountability.
A lot.
We all want to be independent, but not all of us wanted to be accountable, isn't that?
Yes.
So include that in your resolution.
Yes.
You.
On my side, 2026, I just want to be a better version of myself in all aspects, being in the VYG, as a wife, as a mother. We spoke about a lot of comments here, but I also want to be that better version of myself, and graduating as well. I'm looking forward to that because I'm already seeing like the green ticks there and there. So I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely already planning everything. But 2026, I'm really hoping to see a much better version of myself, honestly.
That is great. So great plans. And of course, before the end of the year, as woman to woman, we are going to talk about our own plans. Now, Tali, you guys made the last takeover of 2025.
It was so fast. It was like yesterday, the first one.
So now you call PJ to give God's point in this, because I just came to participate of the show today.
So PJ, for the last takeover of the VYG, what is God's point in this?
For God's point in this, I'd like to wrap it up with a quote and with a verse. Based on what we were just speaking about, the point of learning, there is a very famous quote by Einstein which says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. And one of the worst things is when people, although the lessons are being taught, it's right in front of them, somebody is telling you that fire is going to burn. You put your hand there, it burns, and you still go back and you think, maybe it might not burn this time. So I believe that this verse tells us a lot in asking God, the author of life and of wisdom, to help us to number or live our days with wisdom. And wisdom comes with learning, experiences, taking the lessons from yesterday, applying them today for a better tomorrow. A lot of people are making resolutions for the following year, have already made their resolutions for 2026, and that's perfect. Most of us should do it. I believe I like having resolutions for the upcoming year. But guess what? Those resolutions will not come to life if you're not willing to learn from what yesterday taught you. If you're not willing to learn from your past failures. We heard Tsepo speaking about his incident on Facebook, so I'm sure that right now Facebook Market for him is something he's going to run from, or maybe be more cautious in his approach. The fact is, it will not be wise if he does not number his days or use his days wisely. The lesson was taught, but sometimes we choose not to learn from them. So the author of wisdom, God himself, is teaching us and guiding us. Wisdom comes from learning. The lessons are given, and to finalize, I'll say it, sometimes we learn from our mistakes. It's quite painful, but sometimes we don't even need to learn from our own mistakes. We learn from the mistakes of others. Whether it's here on the program, an experience, a life lesson from somebody who was here on the program or on any other program, or even a simple person who taught you something you met and they said, yo, I went there, I did this and it didn't work out. It was like this and like that. Sometimes we learn from other people. The worst thing that you can be is this time next year, and guess what? You learned nothing. You will find yourself in the same place, in the same position, or worse than you were. So ask God to teach you how to number your days, to make sane, wise, and intelligent decisions. Did you fail? Did you make bad decisions? Learn to make correct ones. Did you make good decisions? Well, ask God to give you the momentum to keep making good decisions. Did you fail? Learn from your failure. From every situation, good and bad, there's always a lesson for us to learn. Well, that's my part in God's point in this. Now I'm going to send it back to my dear wife, who's going to wrap it up, Miss Marcia, with a prayer.
Tali, so prayer is on you. Let us pray.
Let us pray. My Lord and my Father, we thank you for once again we learned from this program. And every week throughout 2025, you have been teaching us. So we pray that you may help us to remember the lessons we learned. Maybe through the challenges, through a counseling, through an advice we got from someone, but that above all, everything that we are going to do, may it be according to your will. Everything that we are going to take from 2025, may it be to your glory, to your honor. My Father, we are just a few days from 2026, from one more year to start, and we want to finish with you 2025 and to start with you 2026. So I pray right now for those who are watching us that maybe 2025 wasn't that great, they didn't have so many lessons, good lessons to take from it, but that you may use this program to strengthen them, to raise them up, and to give them a brand new chance, my Father, for them to succeed, not only in the next year, but from now on. We still have few days to finish this year, so that from today until the end of 2025, this person may see already the difference from this program, that you are going to help them to apply in their lives the lessons they learned. We thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. So we almost come to the end of our program. And as you know, Woman to Woman and VYFM is also a partnership for good. I have to put up a challenge to the youth out there and to the youth here. It all depends on the angle you see a situation. And I sense that sometimes we tend to look at it more to the difficult side rather than opportunity. So I would like to challenge the youth so that you can conquer what you are planning for your 2026, to dwell more on opportunities. Nothing will come for free. Nothing will be easy, let alone in the days we're living in our country, throughout the world. But there is an opportunity out there. Grab it. If you just sit down waiting for your parents to have conditions, for the government to offer you opportunities and courses and bursaries and this, it may not happen. So take upon yourselves accountability. What can you do today that will shape your tomorrow and your 2026? Is it accepted, PJ?
Challenge accepted, Miss Marcia. Definitely, at least on my side, and I'm sure that the VYG fam will be with us on this one. And if I may, I think we will be invading another takeover real soon in early 2026. Just letting you know, just putting it out there, because
it's a partnership.
It's a partnership, you know. We have something very special coming up in Feb, but we're not going to give spoilers yet. Y'all are going to have to keep watching the Woman to Woman fam, you know, do something different. If you haven't been committed, there's a new change for 2026.
Thank you, PJ. Now, next week, it's still our Kid December boss. Now we come to another group. Now we come to the women in the church. That's going to be our auditorium, and we are going to hear from the women in the church what to expect for 2026. So we meet you here. Until then, God bless you all. Bye-bye.
The first step to healing is simply reaching out. If you or someone you know needs support, email woman2woman@uckg.org.za or call 0800 330 320. Our toll-free helpline offers confidential, non-judgmental support.